अस्सलाम वालेकुम. Welcome you all in my program. एक कहानी मेरी ज़बानी. Okay, there are so many fields like doctors, nurses, teachers, engineers. There is one more special field, that is journalism. And what so many struggles they have to do and how they are doing to become a journalist. So today our guest is Shafaq, who is a very great journalist. Today we'll meet her and I'll ask her, how are you, Shafaq?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
We all are very fine. Shafaq, would you like to please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. So I'm Shafaq. I'm a journalist. I've been a full-time journalist since May, but I've been taking classes on journalism for 9 years now. I cover business in Houston, where I live right now with my family. I cover what's happening with small businesses around me, as well as bigger businesses and what they're doing. But in the past, I've also um, covered breaking news and other types of articles.
Good. Very nice, Shafaq. Okay. Why do you choose this field? Who inspired you?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I don't know why I got into it, but I know I always liked sharing stories. Whenever my family would gather, I liked telling them what happened to me. So I know that I wanted to always be a storyteller. And I liked the journalism aspect because I like telling other people what's happening in the news. So I don't know, I like picking up a newspaper and seeing what was happening in the world. I like hearing other people's stories. And one of my favorite parts about journalism is talking to other people. Just like you're interviewing me, I love interviewing other people and telling everyone
Okay.
else what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what's the difference between journalist and writer?
Yeah. So I think a journalist is a type of writer. There's many types of writers. There's people who write books. There's people who write other posts and stuff. But journalists, they have to tell the community what's happening. They have to like inform their readers, and they have to tell the truth. So that's like the difference between a journalist and a writer. Journalists tell people what's happening now.
Okay. It means a journalist can be a writer, but not all writers are journalists,
Yes.
isn't?
Yeah, because some
Okay.
writers can be fiction writers telling like a make-believe story, whereas journalists, they have to tell the truth.
Okay. Then how do you gather informations for your news or stories?
Yeah. So a big part is interviewing, talking to people, getting their stories. That's like the number one thing. But another thing is being curious. Um, when you go to the store and you see that something is different, you have to question, like, hey, why is this like this? You have to be very open-minded and see what's happening, and always be up to date. So I'm always reading what other people are writing. I'm always reading other newspapers so I can be inspired by what they're doing and think, oh, they didn't cover this. I wonder what, like, it's always a questioning story. So that's how I get my stories.
Okay. Okay. What obstacles do you find in this field?
Yeah, there's a lot of different obstacles. One obstacle is, of course, getting into this industry because it's very difficult, at least for me here in Houston. It's difficult to get in. Um, Also, it doesn't pay well. It does like it's very low income. But another obstacle is that
Yeah.
sometimes people they don't want to talk to you. People don't want to tell you their story. And so it's hard getting answers to the questions you have.
It means it's true that there is a low income in this field.
Yes,
That's why many
unfortunately.
newspapers are choosing this field. Okay. Okay.
But it is passionate.
Then
Like if
why do
you're
you write?
passionate. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have the passion at home, of
Yes.
course. Why do you write about the business?
Yeah. Um, when my family immigrated to America, we always thought about money. That was because we weren't earning a lot of money. It was
Yeah.
hard, and so I always grew up thinking about money. And so that's why I like covering businesses to see how are they, what are they doing with their money? And because businesses impact how you're living your daily life. So if for example, you need a shoe and the shoe company says we have sold out of every shoe, that's impacting you. So I like seeing how businesses, how dukans are impacting every human. I think it's really interesting. Yeah.
Okay. How are you doing this during this pandemic?
Yeah, it's hard to do this because a big part about journalism is talking to people. And usually I would talk to people in person, but now everything's over the phone or via Zoom like we are now. It's difficult, but I am just trying my best to talk to people virtually. Another thing that's difficult is that I got into this industry when everything was online during the pandemic. And so my employers and me had to figure out how to navigate this industry together, doing everything remote. So it was hard, but now we're kind of used to it.
Okay, that's fair. What are the key roles of your journalism?
Yeah. So like I mentioned before, yeah, a big part about journalism is making sure you're telling the truth. And you
Yeah.
have to do research, right? So if, for example, one person is saying that the color blue makes you happy, right? That's their opinion maybe, but you have to go and ask 10 other people to see, is that correct? You have to fact check
Okay.
this. And so it takes a lot of other backhand work that the reader doesn't see, but you have to make sure things are true. You have to make sure the information is helpful to your audience, right? Like it's important to know that there's going to be a lot of rain in a week. You have to say, you have to tell the people, this is very important because of this. You have to make sure that you're right.
It means you have to just collect so many data.
Yes.
Oh, good. Very good. Okay. What advice would you give to your peers
Yeah.
or
You
our
have,
audience who are watching you?
yeah, you have to really care about this field. I think it's very important to make sure that you're telling the audience what's happening. And so if you're interested, make sure that you ask questions. Make sure that you start writing or start recording. I think it's a lot of fun. I know that in Desi culture, everyone wants you to make money, become a doctor, become engineer, but sometimes it's really fun to tell stories because it's important. Now it's important to see what the president is saying. It's important to see what's happening in Pakistan, what's happening in America, like it's important to know what the weather is. So if you are passionate about it, I say go for it because it's very important industry in my opinion.
Very nice. Very successful journalist you are.
Thank you.
Okay. It means writers are self-oriented while the journalists are the service-oriented, isn't?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Shafaq. I'm very
Thank
happy to
you.
meet with you. I hope my audience are also enjoying and they will also take this field as they like.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you very much, Shafaq. Allah
Thank
Hafiz.
you.